Supreme Court ruling in favor of Trump's tariffs. There's a lot of back and forth on what's going to happen here. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, so the administration, if you see it, like we talked about the just kind of flawless execution, like shocking level of competency for what was just accomplished Friday night, Saturday morning with the Maduro extraction. Probably some cooperation to make it go off that successful, but at the end of the day, look at the output. Um, that's the story, right? So these wins that the administration is racking up, someone else is the loser, right? So if you go into the regional spheres, access to resources, who has financial oversight, or what we say, like just enveloping within the financial sphere of those resources, someone's losing, so there has to be some pushback.
Right.
So I won't get deep into this, but you're kind of seeing this in the US. Where is the push and pull? For every action, there's maybe not an equal, but an opposite reaction in this big geopolitical uh, chess game. And so if you're looking for where are those pushbacks going to come from, number one, I'd say look for the Supreme Court ruling possibly as soon as tomorrow. So this is Thursday, January 8th when we're recording. Could come tomorrow. It is, you know, what would you call it? Just a unlikely, I'd say. What would you call it? Just a 3-1 underdog. That's what I was looking for. That the Supreme Court rules in favor of Trump's what's the old ruling? I forget the Economic Act, the Emergency
Oh,
Act. That it's like IEEPA, I think is the term. Um, that these tariffs were that initially citing um, as justification to implement these policies, right? So I think a lower court ruled against the Trump administration. Supreme Court may rule on it Friday. But right now, as of just Polymarket odds, there's a 24% chance that the Supreme Court will come out and in favor of this administration. So there will be a speed bump. There will be a setback. Scott Bessent has already mentioned, oh, there's other acts. There's two or three other options they have to go to, even without full congressional authority to actually hard implement these policies. And just forward looking, we have the midterms at this point right around the corner. What we're seeing here, a hot U.S. economy. We're seeing other policies come out like we don't have a slide on this, but Trump came out yesterday and said, "Hey, we're going to issue a ban on institutional investors buying
single family homes.
the housing
Yeah.
stock in the American economy." Voters are going to love this. Like they want lower house prices. Some don't. If you're sitting on your house, if you're a homeowner, it's not may not be popular. But if you're young, you're a Gen Z or millennial who's just frustrated and depressed because you can't afford a house, you love these
Right.
policies, right? So this will become, part of the platform headed into the midterm. There's going to be big shifts coming into place. Pointed there why I said that. If if this administration had a Congress that would pass a bill to implement these tariffs and just give it like there wouldn't be this Supreme Court issue, this Congress would do it. It tells you that this administration, Donald Trump, a Republican president, doesn't actually have an impactful majority in the House or the Senate to get this policy through. So he does have a strong message, in my opinion, to go out, impel people or implore people, voters, to show up and vote in an off-cycle midterm election to send him a Congress that will basically just make it official, not rubber stamp the policies. So this will be a big midterm year, in my opinion, and we're not even close to the I'd say the fever pitch of a big election in the U.S. that all of us know, most of us know what it feels like. Um, So if you also look, I'm just diving deep here. Like I like to do this, maybe too much. We're running time, so we want to keep this episode short. But Kalshi shows the expected, basically just vote whip of the 9 Supreme Court justices. The only way this administration is going to get to a 5 vote or more majority, there's an inside straight here. You either get 5 votes or 6. You're not getting 7, 8, or 9. What that implies is there's at least 3 hard no's. I'll tell you who those are in a second. The modal outcome is 3 yay votes, which is 41%, which means there's also 3 hard yeses behind this administration. I'll also tell you who those 3 are in a second. And then you've got 3 maybes who are gettable. What does it come down to there? This is all going to be decided. Basically, the Trump administration needs to sway 2 of the 3 justices in this opinion, basically to not throw up a speed bump. This will not be the end of the road for tariffs. We are going to continue hearing about the tariff story between now and whenever the cows come home. But for this phase in the battle, if you will, tomorrow or possibly later, that ruling will be market moving. All right, so you've got 3 no's. You've got Judge Sotomayor, Judge Elena Kagan on the right, Judge Brown Jackson. Those are your 3 definite no's. Obama appointees and Biden era appointees. You've got 3 hard yeses. You've got Alito, 3rd from right. You've got Judge Kavanaugh, 4th from right. Everybody remembers his congressional hearings, right? Those were the I guess just what we'd say the most theatrical we've ever seen out of
There's a
any of
lot
these.
going on in that
And
one.
then you've got, yeah, that was fun times, right? I like beer. And then Clarence Thomas, this is a 1990s era, early 90s. He's been on the court for 30 years. But those are your 3 hard yeses. And then your 3 in the middle, we don't know which ways these goes. Chief Justice John Roberts in the middle. You got Neil Gorsuch, 4th from right, and then Amy Coney Barrett, 4th from left for Gorsuch, and then 2nd from right, Amy Coney Barrett. They're basically going to go through the constitutionality, figure out what the heck is going on here. Does the administration have the ability to do this under the specific authorities granted under IEEPA that they cited for these actions? And we'll find out, right, if there's kind of a stick in the bike wheel starting tomorrow in terms of basically everything that's been put together on this new kind of monetary and economic framework that we've been talking about for 12 months. In my opinion, the momentum's already there. We've already left behind the old world. The entropy is built up. It's already a system that was on its last legs, and that was in 2008. But LIBOR's dead. All of the infrastructure's dead. We've replaced it. There's only one direction this is going in the long term, but this could throw some mud in the gears for the short term. So we're talking about there's parties that want to see that. This is one way that hiccup could come through for the administration. Now, other things besides the tariffs ruling, you're looking at this whole immigration. Yesterday there was a situation in Minneapolis in combination with a lot of situations going on in Minneapolis, it seems, over the last 2 to 3 weeks. But you've got a lot of civil unrest starting with Minneapolis, or emanating from Minneapolis as a hotbed. I'd say watch for that. Mass protest, people who want to foment that civil unrest inside the United States. Watch for that to pick up. And then Cameron, you called out here what's going on. You're starting to hear trickles of something going on with Greenland. But all in all, what I would watch for, what's it really all about? It's the financial systems of these regional spheres. And if you want to look somewhere to watch, I've been talking about this for a while, look at the France euro-denominated, the OATS yields. So you're looking at a chart here. The market is saying French debt wants to break out, like yields want to go higher. you're looking at this, you call it a rising triangle or ascending triangle for people who like technical analysis. You can basically see it there, right? I've kind of outlined it in red. Put that other vertical leg on, and you see that triangle forming. This is the market saying, "Hey, we want to sell off. Yields go higher." But someone keeps coming in to defend a level right about 3.5%. What that's telling you is there's likely someone, some large institution, maybe it's France itself, maybe it's the ECB, et cetera, that wants to defend that level for very particular reasons, right? So this could, from, you saw charts earlier where you get into a long-term overall consolidation. Let's say one side of this trade, the bears who want to keep yields lower, defend that 3.5% level. It's getting to a point where it has to break one way or the other. Yields either need to go higher or lower. The bears, they would love to see it break lower. Then you get into a longer term consolidation. But so far, at least what we've seen for the last 24 months, what the market broadly is telling you what it wants to do is it wants to see yields go higher for French government borrowing rates, which is, I think, right now where that battle line is drawn. So sometime, and I mean, you see this thing conclude, like narrowing in towards an outcome. One way or the other, we're going to find out here pretty soon. So if not weeks, maybe a month or two. So we'll continue to watch for that. But once you see yields break through that horizontal level, what that's going to tell you is other capital, other traders, they're going to see that and they're going to pile on in terms of shorting or not showing up, let's say, to French sovereign debt auctions. So once they lose that level, expect a large and meaningful move to happen, and you'll see it reflected in headlines out of Europe, in particular France, government itself. We talked about the budget problems last year, the
Protests and all of that. Yep.
PM resignation, replacement, et cetera. But you're also looking at an ECB headed by Christine Lagarde, who is of French nationality. So just the activity out of the EU, I would look at France as your just kind of your anchor here in the coming days and weeks.